William Whelan here for GetMoreSports.com, and our series of players to watch continues. This time we're going to look at the Big 12 Conference Tournament taking place in Kansas City this week. Now, regular season conference champion Kansas should be considered the favorite heading into this tournament. The status of Perry Ellis, obviously, how much time is he ultimately going to miss? But for the Jayhawks, my key for them is Frank Mason. I think that as he goes, this team goes, and I think that he's shown that through much of the second half of the season. Of course, complementary pieces, getting Wayne Selden back healthy and ready to go is obviously a key. Kelly Oubre being able to play and be effective is obviously key as well, but Frank Mason is the key to this team's ignition. I mean, he makes things go. He can certainly attack off the bounce, knock down a couple shots, and defensively, he is a bulldog. What I want to see from him is more increased offensive production from him. He's got to find ways to score, especially with Ellis off the floor. Obviously, he put on a few moves on Oklahoma, on senior night for Oklahoma. I want to see him do that consistently in Kansas City this week. He is definitely one player to watch. And speaking of Oklahoma, I actually think that they definitely would be my second pick to win this tournament. They're playing extremely well as of late, and it's all because of Buddy Hield, who was named the official Big 12 Player of the Year. Buddy obviously is one of the better two-way wings in the country. He can lock you up defensively. You cannot leave him open on the other end. Of course, knockdown shooter, attacking the rim. He's got the frame. He's got the skill set. He's an all-toolbox guy. Buddy Hield is certainly one of my favorite wings in this conference, and when he plays dynamically, Oklahoma is a legit sleeper for the Final Four. I mean, we've talked about it all year. They're susceptible to letdowns, but they're also capable of greatness. And I do like the way that they're playing lately. I think this team has found a little bit of an identity. Now, that comeback loss against Iowa State notwithstanding, I do still, to go up by 20 points in Ames. I like what the Sooners are doing. I like what Buddy Hield is doing. He's definitely a guy that people need to keep an eye on. And then, of course, going down into southern Texas, we go to Waco talking about Baylor. Rico Gathers, really one of the most physical players in the entire country. Doesn't wow you with tremendous skill. Doesn't wow you with tremendous athleticism. However, what he does do, he bullies you. He plays harder than you. He plays tougher than you. He will finish through contact with 2-3 guys hanging on his arms. I love Rico Gathers and what he's been able to do in helping this Baylor team kind of find their way and be one of the better teams in the Big 12. What other players to watch? I've got to turn my eyes to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State needs to make a run here for me to feel really comfortable for them on Selection Sunday. I do still think they're in. However, they've got to go on a run. And if they're going to go on a run, it's going to be on the back of LeBron Nash. One of the top scorers in the conference. I believe he was second or third at the end of the season. Certainly has evolved his game, but where he's best is on the block, in transition. Get yourself some stops, big fella. Go chase down a rebound and lead the break and attack the rim. Get to the line. Get other teams in foul trouble. He is so gifted athletically, in terms of talent, the skill set that he has. He's got to put it to use here and kind of will his team to victory. Of course, they need some production from Phil Forte on the outside as well. I will not deny that, but in my opinion, it does start and end with the production that LeBron Nash can give Oklahoma State going into this Big 12 tournament.